Hello, Endeavour. Get comfortable and ready for chapter 28. All around Eden City that morning. Hang tight, you're in for a treat. My story's like a snowball. The further it goes, the faster it rolls. Scenes change and spin. Characters run in and out where before they walked. Try to stay with the snowball. There's not much further to roll. The red dawn sun had risen above the low Eden City haze and fog, and the light turned to a dirty yellow. But above the haze, the sky was clear, and you could see two pairs of wings up there, circling, one low just above the cloud, the other just below the setting moon. The pair belonged to a monstrous brown bird with a vicious beak and a cruel eye, and the other wings sprouted from the back of a horse. A god sat upon it and watched the brown bird as it dived down into the filthy air of Eden City. The white horse followed. It dropped faster than a comet, and it fell, well, like a horse from the sky. I hurried through the crowded streets past the beggars and the crossing sweeper. The match girl slumped in the doorway. She looked pale and was too weak to cry out. Matches for sale? Uncle Edward's money was in her purse, and she needed much more than money now. She needed care and love. I turned the corner by the jailhouse and stopped so suddenly my feet skidded on the slimy street. I backed away and round the corner and peeked fearfully. The constables had finished their breakfast and they were back. They had stopped dismantling the scaffold to talk to a stranger. This stranger seemed to be dressed in a brown cloak from head to toe. A feathered cloak. His face was as harsh as a hawk's, and his beak was like a yellow nose. "You say a man died here this morning?" he was asking. "Yeah," Constable Drab said, "a fat old man called Slaughter." The stranger shook his head. It looked as though his neck had been badly broken and mended. "That is not the man I am looking for." "Are you sure it was a fat old man?" "Oh, yes, sir. We saw him finished off on this very spot," Constable Dross insisted. The stranger stamped a foot. "I could have sworn he had claws for feet and half feathery legs." Maybe he was in disguise, I thought. Constable Dross looked at Constable Drab. "You did say his face looked painted when you cut him down, didn't you, Drab?" "Oh, I did," Constable Drab agreed. "Some of it came off in my hand. Here, look." "Ugh," Constable Dross cried. "You mean to say you've just served me breakfast with those hands and you didn't wash them first?" "You've never bothered before," Constable Drab told him. "Officers!" the stranger called. "Just tell me, what did they do with the body?" Constable Drab and Constable Dross said, "Well, they took it to the Storm Inn." "And where will I find this inn?" "By the riverside," Constable Drab told him, and began to explain how to get there. I turned and ran. I didn't know Eden City well, but I knew it enough to get into the inns by the side streets and alleys. Maybe I could get there before the Avenger, because I had no doubt who this hideous creature was. Maybe I could warn Theus that the Fury was on his way. What I didn't know was that Theus had already left and collected his wings. Theus had the wings tucked under one arm and his ancient Greek tunic under the other. He looked up into the skies for the Fury and was ready to flee. He didn't know that the bird would go straight to the place where he had died. Only Zeus could get to the place where Theus was now. Zeus, of course, was able to track Theus by the ring on his finger. You were told that in an earlier chapter. Pay attention. I warned you things would start to get hectic now. The Titan reached the corner of the alley where the sign read, "The Temple of the Hero." In the dull morning light, he could see it better than he had the night before. The temple was a shabby little building, neglected and crumbling. It was meant to look like a Greek temple, but it had been made from wood. What caught Theus's eye was the horse that stood beside the warped door of the temple. There were lots of horses in Eden City. This was the only one with wings. "Pegasus," Theus laughed. "What are you doing here, my boy?" he asked, and patted the muzzle of his old friend. The door to the temple scraped open, hanging badly on its rusty hinges. An old woman came out, dressed in a faded shawl and carrying some dead flowers. Her eyes were a little brighter than the Eden City puddles. She looked up at Theus. "The hero is back," she said. "I've spent my life waiting for this hero to come, and now he has. I must tell all the other worshippers." "Wait," Theus said. "Who's the hero?" The woman was impatient. "He came to Eden City 200 years ago. He died and saved the city. We set up a temple to remember him, and now he's here." "Do you thank him with sacrifices?" Theus asked. The woman showed her yellow teeth in a broken grin. "Don't be silly, with flowers and hymns." And she hurried down the alley towards the main street to spread the news, singing one of her hymns. And she was gone around the corner into the bustling street. Theus stepped through the door of the temple. The inside room was simple, with a table at one end. There were fresh flowers on the table, the ones the woman had brought that morning. There were some statues around the walls that looked like Greek gods, but there was a living one on the throne in the middle of the room. "Come in, cousin Theus, you haven't much time," he said. "Hello, Zeus," Theus said with a smile. I ran into the storm inn and saw January with a tablecloth. She was wrapping a few clothes and shoes in a cloth. "Jim, what are you doing here?" she asked. "Looking for Theus," I said. "I wanted to warn him. His enemy's in town." She frowned. "When I got here, he was leaving. He collected his wings and rushed off. I think he must already know." "He'll have guessed," I said. "Did he fly away?" She looked at me like I was mad. "Fly? Theus can't fly. Nobody can fly." "Of course not," I said quickly. "Where did he go?" "Said something about the Temple of the Hero." "He hasn't time for that," I groaned. "I'd better go and warn him," I said as I turned and headed out the door. "See you at the station in half an hour." I ran out of the swinging doors and turned right. I ran so quickly that I didn't see the hawked-faced stranger coming down the street from the left. The Avenger was closing in fast. It turned into the storm and instead right at January. I had to believe January about this part of the story. I guess she must have been telling the truth because quite by accident, she found the only way in all of the universe was to delay the fury and give Theus a chance. But what was this only way? "Oh, come on, I know you're not a writer, but you must have worked it out." "Read on." "Good morning, sir. I'm sorry, but we're not open yet," she told the creature. "The door is open," it told her. "Oh, the door is broken along with most of the furniture," she said. "We had a bit of a fight in here last night." "Ah," the beaked head nodded crookedly. "And was a young man killed?" "Oh no, that was Big Bill the night before. He had a thin skull. Shame, really. But someone died along the road from here at dawn, a place you call the jailhouse." January nodded. "Oh, an old thief." She didn't trust the stranger and wasn't going to tell him the truth. "Oh, his little boy's a friend of mine." "And where is the little boy now?" the stranger asked. "Oh, he's just gone along to the Temple of the Hero." "Ah, perhaps I should ask him if he knows about the death in the jailhouse," the creature said, and he turned to go. Had he left then, he'd have caught me at the temple and caught Theus. Only one thing could stop him. January knotted the cloth and patted the bundle. The town hall clock struck 9:30. "Just time for a bite to eat before I leave," she said. "Ah," the Fury sighed as it reached the doors. "I haven't eaten for 2 days. My usual supply escaped." 2 days? You must be starving. You could share mine. I've got a big pot of stew in the kitchen. My father won't have any customers in here tonight. It will just rot and go to waste." "Oh, no, thank you," the Fury said. I must get along to this temple," and it stretched out a feathered arm to open the door. "All right then," said January brightly, "but it's a shame. It's my favourite." The monstrous bird was almost out of earshot when January said the magical word that might save Theus's life. "It's liver," she said. The Fury stopped. Saliva dripped from its cruel beak. It sighed. "Oh, what did you say? In that case, I will have some, young lady. Do you want a bowl full?" "No, just bring me the whole pot." And that was how the Fury wasted 10 precious minutes while I stood inside the temple of the hero. And join me tomorrow for chapter 29. Have a great day, Endeavour. See you soon.